Good evening, and thank you all for joining us for this update on Tropical Storm Helene. I want to thank our Chair of the City Council, Deborah Figgs Sanders, our council members, state legislators, our partners at Duke Energy for joining us today, as well as our city staff. The City of St. Petersburg is continuing to monitor and prepare for Tropical Storm Helene. This is a powerful storm, and the time to prepare is now. We are under a state of local emergency, and we are anticipating impacts from this storm to start late Wednesday night with the major impacts on Thursday. The current forecast calls for a higher storm surge than Tampa Bay has experienced in recent history, with higher storm surge impacting the county for a longer time period than during Hurricane Idalia. We are expecting between 5 to 8 feet of storm surge. The city will be closed on Wednesday, September 25th and Thursday, September 26th. Pinellas County schools are closed on those same days. The city continues to offer sandbags at several sites around the city and will offer them tomorrow from 7 a.m. until as long as weather permits. And those full service locations are Lake McGorry Park, Northeast Park, East Baseball Field Parking Lot, Northwest Swimming Pool, and self-service locations at Dell Holmes Park, Fossil Park, and Walter Fuller Soccer Field. Now, in terms of evacuations, please heed all evacuation orders if and when they are issued. It's for your own safety. Pinellas County has issued a mandatory evacuation for all residential healthcare facilities in Zone A. Now, you don't have to wait for a mandatory evacuation to leave, and there are resources available to you. We are in constant contact with the county, and when and if evacuation orders are issued, pet-friendly and special needs shelters will be opened in addition to general population shelters. The County Information Center line is open at 727-464-4333. And residents requesting special needs assistance can also call that number. Now, it's important with this amount of storm surge that we all do our part. Everyone can do their part by beginning to limit their water usage. That means please do your laundry, run the dishwasher, etc. on today and on Wednesday. And we're asking you to reduce water use on Thursday and Friday until after the storm passes. Residential trash and recycling will not be picked up on Thursday, September 26th. Thursday pickups for both residential and recycling will be collected on Saturday, September 28th. And please stay off the roads when we start to experience severe weather. To stay informed, you can sign up for Alert Pinellas at stpete.org/hurricane and download the Ready Pinellas app in the App Store or the Google Play Store for real-time updates. Please continue to monitor local news media, the National Weather Service, disaster.pinellas.gov, and our social media feeds. Again, we want to emphasize that now is the time to prepare. This is a very strong, very serious storm, and the storm surge is really something we haven't seen in this area forever. The city is being very proactive and intentional in our preparations. We're using past experience to prepare for this storm, and we encourage residents to assess your disaster plans and take necessary preparation efforts. Again, the time to act is now. This is a very serious storm approaching us. Yolanda?
Yo voy ahora a repetir el mensaje del alcalde en español. La ciudad de St. Petersburg sigue preparándose para la tormenta tropical Helene. El Centro de Operaciones de Emergencia de la ciudad está activado y el alcalde Welch ha firmado el estado de emergencia. Anticipamos que los impactos de la tormenta comenzarán tan pronto como el miércoles por la noche, y eso incluye inundaciones y mareas altas. Esperamos entre 5 a 8 pies de marejada ciclónica el jueves. La ciudad estará cerrada el miércoles y jueves, pero la ciudad tiene varios sitios donde se pueden recoger sacos de arena. La lista está en la página de la internet de la ciudad de St. Petersburg. Esté al tanto de las noticias y por su propia seguridad. Si el condado ordena evacuaciones, no espere hasta el último momento. Es posible que si espera demasiado, que los socorristas no puedan llegar a usted hasta después que pase la tormenta. Haga su parte para preparar su familia y su propiedad. Todo el mundo puede hacer su parte empezando con limitar el uso de agua. Eso significa lavar la ropa y los platos el miércoles y esperar hasta que pase la tormenta el jueves. Por favor, manténgase fuera de las carreteras durante la tormenta todo el día el jueves. Es muy importante. Y también apúntase a las alertas. And with that, we'll take questions for Mayor or for any of our public safety officials that are here.
Mayor, when do you expect more evacuations to start, or what would happen in the storm track to trigger some evacuations? Like, what should folks be waiting for if they are in an evacuation zone, like sensitive one such as Zone A?
Thank you for that question. I'll bring Amber Bolding up, our emergency management manager, to talk about it. We are in constant contact with the county, and given the amount of storm surge, we do expect them to give us an update sooner rather than later. Amber?
Just as Mayor said, we are in constant contact with the county. Generally, mandatory evacuations come from that storm surge effect. So they've been closely watching the track. We're meeting with the National Hurricane Center and the National Weather Service multiple times a day to truly understand what our specific impacts are for Pinellas County and the municipalities within, like St. Pete. We do anticipate hearing from the county soon if there are evacuation orders. You know, we try to look after the vulnerable populations. We had that mandatory order earlier today for the healthcare facilities to make sure they get the resources they need to help, you know, make sure that they're safe and where they need to go. So we'll see where the county discusses next, and we look out for those orders as well.
Could soon mean tonight?
I'm not sure. I don't have that information in front of me.
I know we're one of 24 municipalities, but, you know, being the biggest city, do we have any say in when, you know, in their decision to order an evacuation?
So evacuation decisions are jurisdiction of county government. So we do meet with them multiple times a day. We're integrated into their planning process, but the ultimate decision in evacuations does come from Pinellas County.
The county's emergency management director at a presser earlier today, you know, I asked when that point was to when it becomes like almost more harm than good to evacuate.
Right.
And she said, I believe she said tropical storm force winds, and that's, you know, looking like maybe Wednesday afternoon. So that being said, you know, does that worry you at all, you know, as far as St. Pete goes, getting, you know, 207
Sure.
people situated?
So the county has what they call clearance times based on certain evacuation levels. So for level A, it would have a certain amount of clearance time by hours that they have to meet before those onset of winds come. So I know they're watching that closely to find out where that window is. So when they do decide that they're well within, you know, the range to safely evacuate that population of residents. So if it's a mandatory A, they look at the number of, you know, the residents living within a mandatory A evac level and then how long it would take them. So they do plan to make that decision before we reach that moment. But from a city of St. Petersburg point, sure. I mean, every neighborhood is different. Every municipality is different. We have some really low-lying coastal areas and neighborhoods that it doesn't take a level A evacuation to put water in their houses, right? So with those, you know, we try to stay in communication, and really we want to encourage those residents to take this time while we wait to prepare. And as Mayor said, you don't have to wait for that mandatory evacuation. If you are a resident that flooded during Idalia last year, and we're expecting higher storm surge than that, that should be a key that you could get water in your house to prepare appropriately. So every resident is very different. Your risk could be different from your neighbor's risk. Not only how your house is situated, is it high, is it low? Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you have medical needs? So we don't have to wait for that mandatory evacuation to start taking those preparation steps now, so that if we get that evacuation order, the plan is set. So there's no, you know, we don't need to panic. It's just the time to prepare, so we're not increasing our panic later if we get that evac order.
I have kind of a long question, so I apologize, but we heard that the backflow prevention program in Shore Acres is not complete yet, and so some of the residents had expressed that they were nervous about the fact that that might cause their area to flood more because all the other ones are working and that one's not. Could we talk a little bit about that and what the delay has been, because it was supposed to be done by summer, I believe?
The backflow prevention program in Shore Acres is replacing existing backflow preventers. The last data I had, we've replaced approximately 39 of the 56. Part of the delay has been these backflow preventers are manufactured overseas in Sweden and have to be shipped over, and they are special ordered. They're not something you can go to Home Depot and buy off the shelf. And so therefore, there's a delay in that delivery. Backflow preventers are not designed to protect an area from storm surge that overtops a seawall. Backflow preventers are mostly useful during sunny day flooding. So in a situation like what we're expecting now, where we do expect some seawalls to be overtopped, if we get the surge that we're expecting, backflow preventers cannot help with that.
So those residents shouldn't be extra concerned because theirs isn't working and the rest of them are. How does that work?
No, I don't believe that there should be that extra concern, again, because what we're concerned about, what we're focusing on is the potential for the storm surge. And they're not designed to handle storage surge, particularly as they overcome seawalls. Thank you.
I wanted to follow up just on Mark, and thank you. That was Claude Tankersley, our Public Works Administrator. The question about are we concerned as a larger city? What we're really concerned about is folks responding when we do get an evacuation order. At almost every major storm, we have dozens of high water rescues because folks don't respond to that evacuation order. So that is what I'm most concerned about. Folks should be attentive. If that evacuation order comes, they need to respond to it because, again, 5 to 8 feet of storm surge is larger than we've ever seen, much larger than a dahlia even.
Is the city prepared to make rescues? Like, what's the plan for?
We'd rather not. We'd rather folks respond. If they're in an evacuation zone, please respond to it because we're putting our first responders at risk to try to go in and save folks. But, you know, they performed more than 80, I think, in the last event. So they are prepared, but we don't want to have to put them at risk to do that.
Is there a part during the storm where they will not be doing rescues because it's not safe?
Yes, Chief Watts or Holloway, if y'all want to respond to that.
So for fire rescue, the answer is yes. Once sustained tropical storm force winds reach dangerous levels, emergency vehicles will be grounded, and our crews will resume operations as soon as it is safe to do so.
What are those winds, Chief? Like 45, like you said tropical storm?
Tropical storm, do you know?
It's generally about 40 miles per hour.
One more question? Mayor, you authorized a local state of emergency today. Have any purchases been made or orders been made because of that to purchase things to get ready for?
So I'm fresh off a flight back from Atlanta. So, Tom, do you want to help us out on that? Okay.
Good evening. I'm Tom Green, Assistant City Administrator, and no, we have not made any purchases under that authority.
And no decisions or any policy changes, anything like that?
Just our normal protocol for storm prep. All right. Thank y'all so much.